Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Que-stead-Que. What you gonna do? I don't know, but something's gonna grow. Well, since I have this funny looking thing up, let me tell you what it is. I just found it along with this one. I use them for my crushing tool for herbs, and I had misplaced them and I recently found them, so I'm going to make sure that I keep up with these. I'll probably store them right here in the living room somewhere in a vase. Yeah, I've got a vase over there I can store these in. That way I will never lose track, because next year I will be crushing herbs with this. In fact, it came in handy the other day after I dehydrated my peppers that I bought on Tuesday. They would not fit into the smaller quart-sized jar. This is that Atlas jar that I was trying to fit the pepper powder or the pepper flakes in last week. They wouldn't fit, so I took this one here and just smashed it down. I could actually crush the peppers with this, but I'm going to still just use the processor for these peppers here, because what I'm going to do with these, this batch of peppers here, I'm going to make a full pint with this, and then the rest of them, after it fills the pint, which I know it will, and there will be some left over, after I fill the pint, I will take the remaining peppers left in this and top off the jar that I did last week, where I got that quart jar that had headspace left. Well, I'm going to still leave a little headspace, probably about a ½ inch to an inch, but I want it full. Now, this is what I purchased on today. I went to the farmer's market again. I might go back Tuesday. I visited the honey lady, but she had a crowd. She had, number one, she had a big batch of honeycomb, which you all know I like honeycomb just for chewing. And then she had a smaller batch. We spoke for a minute, and I told her I would return. The honey that I thought was honey butter is not honey butter. It's actually cinnamon honey. And so I told her, and she only wants $7 for a ½ pint. So that's a great price. Her pints are only $10. A full pint is only $10. And a quart of honey with her is, I think, $12, if I'm not mistaken. Now, her honey is a little bit darker, but we discussed the honey. I had a few minutes to talk with her before the line, before others came up. And that's why I didn't buy right then, because I told her I would probably come back on Tuesday, like I did last week. That way we could talk more. But what we did talk about was, I asked her, what's her bees, what are they pollinating? I said, are they pollinating flowers? She said hers are pollinating mostly fruit. She said that she's not the beekeeper on her farm. She's like, I have the farm, but I have hired beekeepers on my farm. And she said, I have acreage and, that type of thing. So the beekeepers do their thing, and then they bring, I guess, the honey to her or whatever. So fruit trees, she said, is what they're pollinating. So she said apples, because she had apples there. I don't know what else, but anyway, they're pollinating the fruit. So it's going to be interesting to taste her honey, because now my other honey is flower pollinated, and it's good. I love the honey from the bee man. But I'm going to try, since the ½ pint is only $7, I'm going to go and try a ½ pint of it on Tuesday. And then I'm not going to buy the creamed honey, although I could. I think I'd rather just regular honey. And then also, I said I would probably purchase a honeycomb from her. The big one is $12, and the little teeny tiny one I think is like $6. So I might purchase the little teeny tiny one just to have it. Okay. I also bought a tomato, because on today I will be making, in fact, as soon as I upload this video, and why is my thing still lowering down? I'm gonna have to do something about this tripod. It lowers on its own for some reason. I can tighten it as much as I can. It's still gonna slip down. But anyway, I purchased a nice little tomato. The man was nice enough because he was selling, and this is so firm and beautiful. Listen to that, almost like a watermelon. Anyway, he was nice enough today to sell me one tomato. So I paid like $1 for it or whatever. But he sold it, he was only selling them by tubs, and the tubs were like $4, and it came with like maybe close to 10 tomatoes. If I were doing a salsa or something like that, then yes, that's a great deal. But I only needed it for I'm making tortellini soup on today. So I have all my ingredients. I forgot to get the chicken broth, but I don't even like chicken broth, but I was going to add it just because that's what the recipe for the slow cooked tortellini soup called for. And I think that was just to add moisture to it and probably flavor, but I don't like chicken broth. Guess what I'm adding instead? Water, okay? Because it's going to be flavored enough. I have, the cheeses for it, the Italian sausage, the tortellini itself. What else? I'll be putting onions in it. And it called for 2 cans of diced tomatoes. No. I will not be ruining that type of meal with some darn canned diced tomatoes. Q will be dicing this. First of all, I'll be pulling the skin off, of course. And I'm going to chop it up, and it will go into the tortellini, some of it. I don't think I'll need the whole tomato for it. I'll need probably just half. So that's why I bought that tomato today, to put into the tortellini. Plus, it's getting some of my homegrown garlic, because that's another part of the recipe, and cipollini onions. So y'all know, we're not going to be messing it up with canned nothing, okay? I got my whipping cream. So the ingredients, oh, well, you heard it on the fishing video, so you know. So most of you watched it, so we won't even go over that again. So I'm going to get started with that, and then get it in the crock pot for the 4 hours. And during those 4 hours, I will be finally getting this living room cleaned and dusted, okay? The bedroom will be tomorrow. I am going to dust in there today, but I'll finish up. I'm going to get my sheets changed because I'm a week late with that to begin with. So I'll get my sheets changed and all that, get it winterized with blankets. And I'm putting my flannel sheets on because the bottom falls out tomorrow. And when I told my sister I was cooking tortellini soup, she goes, "It's not going to be cold." Because I told her, I was like, well, it's going to be cold, so I may as well do the soup. She was like, "It's supposed to be 75 tomorrow." I was like, well, I didn't know that. I was like, but guess what? It's going to be 58 Sunday. Well, not even 58. I don't think it's supposed to get no higher than about 52. It's windy now. It is warm. I see the black clouds coming up. They said it's going to storm this afternoon, and the temperature, a cold front is coming through, and the temperature is going to drop very low. They said by 5 o'clock. Well, it's 2 o'clock now. And with those black clouds I'm eyeing, I think they're right on target with what's getting ready to happen to us. And it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. We're at 100%. Tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday is 85, and so on and so forth. The only halfway decent day that we might end up with will be Friday. And so JD and I had spoken about, going back fishing possibly Friday, but we've since moved it up. Monday is actually, next Monday, the 27th, is actually supposed to be a good day, especially through his Farmer's Almanac, and secondly through the weather, the 14-day forecast. So we've already pretty much decided that we will wait until Monday to go, possibly even later in the week, because next week we go into Native American summer, and it's not supposed to warm up that much, but the weather's going to be a lot more stable. So we're gonna wait until later this week to make our final decision on what day we're going to choose to go. I told him I would prefer to go Tuesday, a week from Tuesday, because a lot of people take off Friday and Monday to go to that island and fish, especially at the beginning of the fishing season in spring, and they do it also during the end of the season in They do it during the end of the season in, around October, because by November, the canals usually freeze over. They don't freeze over all the way, but you would need a brick to break the frost on top. And once it does that, it's over, because those canals, you all see how they look. And once they ice over, it will freeze up your line. You have all kind of problems. So we're usually done. We've fished in November before, but that's on rare occasions. We didn't do it. I don't think we had a chance to do it last year. We might have fished in November. It might have been right at the first. And then the year before last, I remember vividly, we went hip hopping down there at the first week in November, and everything was skimmed over. We couldn't fish. We had to turn around and come right back home. We tried to fish, because we did find an open spot, because the sun had came out, and then a spot opened up. It had melted and everything. We couldn't even, the fish wasn't even biting, because by then they done went on to their beds, wherever they're going to be. And we couldn't throw way out and all that stuff, because it was frozen, at the edge where the fish usually are to begin with. So we called it a wrap that day, and we came home with nothing. We were back home within the next 2 hours, because it took us like 40 minutes to get there, and then another 40 minutes to get home. So I told him we won't make that mistake again. So we had already said our finale will be the end of end of October. So that's it. And we're sliding down again. I'm tightening it to hopefully hold it up a little bit. Another thing, I got a harvest today, y'all. It might only be 5, but I got it. They're ready. And I'm surprised these things even grew, because when I looked at them last week, they hadn't done anything. Well, because this big weather event is about to come, I was like, let me get my little 13 peas off of here, because y'all know I counted them. Y'all know I counted these peas. And I'm going to put them in something, okay? They're going to be eaten. I'm going to get them picked today, and I'm going to put them in a little bag, and they're going to be put into something eventually, probably on some meat or something. Nothing goes to waste. Okay? I went to the farmer's market, on today, and guess what? The purple and blonde peppers are gone. She said they sold out that same day when I bought them last. I said, I'm glad that I thought to come Tuesday to get another batch. I said, so I'm happy. So all she had, she had all the other colors with the exception of purple and blonde. So she had all the other colors. So I told her, okay, let's go with the orange. I didn't want to go with the red again. And this is going to be for a separate batch. This is going to give me, actually, I'm going to use the same jar. If what I got today doesn't fill a quart, I will be using this jar. I know it'll fill this. So that's going to give me it's going to give me quite a bit, because I'm going to have a pint and 2 quarts. But anyway, I went with orange, and I told her I'm doing eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I didn't know if I wanted red, orange. She had the green. I didn't want that at all. She had red, orange, green. Yeah, she didn't have any yellow today, because that's the one I was going to pick. But she had red, orange, green, and what's that other color? It's another one. Wait, red, yellow, orange, green. Okay, that was it. She had red, orange, and green. And so I was like, I don't want the red. I was like, I'll go with the orange. So I said, give me 2 of them. And she was like, well, 3. She was like, it's either $4 a thing. She was like, or you're going to pay only $10 for 3. So I was like, okay, well, I have to do something. So she said, well, I have these. And I thought they were hot, but they're not. She had sweet banana peppers, y'all. Bing! And I told her, give me the red ones. So she gave me all the red ones, and then I ended up with 2 green ones. Well, guess what I'm getting ready to do? This will be unusual. I'm getting ready to make a mix of the orange bell peppers. I still wish I could have found the yellow, but I'm going to do a mix of the orange bell peppers and the sweet banana peppers. Okay, so we're going to have red after all, but these are more orange than red. So, and then we're going to have a little green sprinkled in, because this one is turning red and this one is pure green. So that's going to be nice. So we're doing a mix. I don't know how it's going to come out, but I would think that it's going to be good. And then I ran into two crochet ladies in the wild, so I did a My Fiber Fun video about that. And so anyway, after that, I was looking for greens again because I would like to get another bushel of greens for, you know, for the winter. Although my greens, I went to the greenhouse after I got back from the farmer's market. I needed to water because I hadn't watered all week in the greenhouse. And I wanted to check the greens I already had established, every one of them. If I wanted to harvest from even the fall ones, I could. They're not huge leaves, but they're nice size. I could get me a little bushel off of them. So I'm going to let them keep going until November, the end of November, early, well, when it finally snows. I'm going to get them on out. And then I'm going to let the frost hit them, and then I'll get ready to, because I can just lay them, you know, on the table or cover them up and just leave them outside overnight. I could put them in a bag and do that. And they'll get hit by the frost or the cold or whatever, and that will sweeten them up, and I will gather my greens that way. But I walked down to the end because I hadn't been down to the end of that row just to see if they had greens, because the crochet lady was like, well, I think the lady on the end has greens. Well, she had greens. She had the kale and stuff. And then there was another lady with a whole bunch of herbs there, but she didn't have any of the herbs that I really wanted to get. She had rosemary. She had thyme, the English thyme. She had sage. If she had oregano, I would have got that, but I didn't see oregano. They had some white birch. And somebody tell me, what is white birch? He had these big, long white birch sticks. And one lady was buying it. She was like, I just adopted a parakeet. She was like, and I'm going to buy this for the parakeet to perch on. But unless it's used for firewood, but if anybody knows what white birch, and maybe I should research it myself, but if anybody happens to know, tell me, because I'll buy one on Tuesday. He didn't want that much for them, and they were some nice sticks. I thought about getting one for a weapon, and they were beautiful. They were white, you know. I mean, so the tree itself, you know, it's a beautiful tree, so maybe it could be for decoration or whatever, but I would like to have one, because the one I would buy, he had this one that had like a crook in it. Could almost make a cane out of it. That would be nice, but I'm not gonna try to do all that. But anyway, it had like a crook. I was like, this would be the perfect weapon. Perfect, you know, for protection or whatever. So I may get one. So somebody tell me, what can I use one for? But in the meantime, okay, so all the herbs, you know, I looked through them, and it was quite a few. And they look nice too, so they must be still growing them in their greenhouse. And he has starts. I think I was telling y'all that a lot of people had starts there for cold crops. So I didn't get any of that. And they were priced reasonably. He wanted $3 for a start. Then on the other side, they had the bigger starts that they wanted like $6 for. But I already had my fall garden established, so, but I looked through everything. But in the meantime, okay, so going back, because these people were up front, right by where I parked. Okay, so going down that same road where the people were at the front, I had to go all the way down to the other end. And so when I saw she didn't have, the only green she had was spinach, kale, and something else, I forgot, but she didn't, cabbage. She didn't have collard greens. I saw one lady with turnips, but I don't, yeah, it was turnips. I don't like turnip greens, but I do like mustard greens. If I had seen mustard, I would have got those. But I was like, okay, maybe later some collards will come through. We'll see. But in the meantime, when I got down, I saw that the guy across on the very end from the lady who was selling the greens had peppers. And I happened to look. Guess what he had? Just a few, but he had them. Blonde bell peppers, y'all. So I was able to get 3. I didn't want... He only sold his for $1 a piece. And I did not want a tub of them. So it was either a tub or $1 a piece. I said, well, 3 should do. I said 3 blonde bell peppers will do for this batch here. So I'm going to put them right in this batch. And so I got some blonde peppers after all. He will not have none next week. When I say he had like 2 tubs left, and he said they've been selling like hotcakes. I told him I believe you. And he had a few in the little thing. I think he had like 8 or 9 in you know, that he was selling by themselves. And I don't know if he's gonna tub them or what, but I think he was wanting to make probably some extra money because his tubs were like $4, and he had like maybe, I think he had like 6 peppers in each tub. So anyway, so I bought 3. I bought, you know, $3 worth. So here's all the peppers, you guys. This will be enough, definitely, to get me a quart of peppers. So in the end, I'm going to have 2 quarts and 1 pint of peppers, and that will be enough. And so when I told him I was using them for, he was like, "Ooh, that's clever." I was like, "Oh, a lot of people do it." Because the lady who was selling the purple bell peppers, she told me on Tuesday, when I told her what I was doing with the peppers, she said, "You're the second person to come in to say you were doing that." So I bet that second person probably got in and got the rest of those blonde and purple bell peppers. But that's okay. I got in on it. And it was by pure dumb luck that I did, because I had been looking for those colors and had not been able to find them. And then boom, I go there for the first time a week ago and found them. And thank goodness she had them. But this week she didn't. And I figured she would sell out of them. She had the few Tuesday, and so I didn't buy the purple, but I bought the blonde. She only had a few purple anyway, so I knew, I was like, this is the end of this. She had maybe 2 or 3 purple that I saw there, and I didn't want them. But she had the blonde, and it wasn't that many of that. I was like, she's going to be done with these this week, because they still had Thursday's market, and that's the day we went fishing. So if she didn't sell out Tuesday, she definitely sold out by Thursday, because she had none. She was like, "I'm done for the year." So all she had were the other ones. So anyway, I'm just happy to have been able to find some blonde ones. So now we'll look at Tuesday. I'm going to get these mixed up, and tonight I'm going to get them cut, and I will put them on the dehydrator tonight. And I'll let them go all night, so they'll be done by tomorrow. And I'm going to taste it. If the mix tastes okay, you know, I'm going to taste a piece of the banana as well as one of the orange. And I don't have to taste the blonde. I know what that tastes like. But if I like the flavor of the mix, guess what? I will go back on Tuesday. Maybe I'll find some more blonde bell peppers at that man's thing, but I don't count on it. But I will definitely, and she didn't have that many banana peppers, so she might sell out of those. But I would definitely go back and get some more orange, and I would get some more banana peppers, if she still has them. We'll see. I'm surprised to find them this late in the year. You usually can't find them. But she said, "I'm still picking." In fact, one of them, the leaf, she had just picked it. And so the leaf was there, and I picked it off the pepper, and it was one of the banana peppers. So she said, "I'm still getting them." She was like, "So as long as I get them, I'll bring them in." So I'm happy to see them, because usually after early August at the latest, you cannot find a sweet banana pepper, and they don't even carry them in the stores anymore. They used to, but not now. You can find the hot waxes in there, but I've yet, every time I go to any store I go to that sells peppers, I always look to see if they have sweet banana, and none of them do, and people are always asking for them. And so the fact that I was able to get some, I should make some pepper juice with it, you know, soak them in some vinegar or something for the flavor, because I've got all the mix for pickling them, but nope, not going to do it. I think I'm going to stick with the dehydrating, and then I can have the flavor that way, because my banana, I got a pint of banana pepper powder. I made a pint of mix with the romaine peppers and the banana pepper powder, banana peppers. That's the one that's half gone already. I've been using that stuff left and right in everything, and that mix is delicious. And then I have a half pint of romaine by itself. I'm thinking of adding that half pint of romaine and part of that pint of the banana, because that mix is so good. I can top my mix, I could top my pint back off. I think I'm going to do that instead of using the peppers by themselves. I don't need to do it. I can just do that and continue on with my mix, especially since I have these extra peppers. Because even these bell peppers, they smell so good and they taste good. I can see myself using those to shake on a salad too. I know I'm going to be using them for cooking because those greens I cooked last week were out of this world. I added quite a few of the peppers to it. Oh man, that stuff, those peppers took them to the next level. Because like I said before, I've never considered myself a good green cooker. I mean, I do okay and I make it through, but this is one that I would have been willing to serve at a dinner if I needed to because they were just that good. And then I used a different smoked meat other than a ham hock. I forgot what meat it was that I used. But anyway, it was a smoked meat. It was good. I threw some bacon in there, seasoned it real good with my seasonings, and it was delicious. And so that's it. Okay, so I think that's all I have for today. So we're at, where's my magoos? 25 minutes, so let's end this, you guys. So anyway, I'm going to get off of here. I showed you the peas and told you about today's dinner. I'm going to take a quick nap before I start cooking. It's only like 2 o'clock, so I will take an hour-long nap. I ended up sleeping on this couch last night. I had got up, turned on all the lights in the back so that I can see when I turned off everything up here to go to bed. Sat down, took my medicine. I don't know what happened next. Next thing I know, my eyes were popping open and it was 4:30 in the morning. Then I went out again. It's as if I had took one of those antiverts and I hadn't. That's just how tired I was, apparently. Then I took another nap. I was like, well, I may as well stay up and I can watch YouTube. I was like, and then go to the farmer's market at about 8 because they open at 7, but it doesn't get daylight. The sun doesn't even rise to 8 now here. And then we're dark by 6:30 now, before 7. 6:30 is starting to get dark. Around 6:45 it gets actual dark. So I said, well, I'm gonna have to wait till it's light out. So I was like, I'll just go at about 8:30 or 9. And so that was the plan. Shoot, next thing I know, I was waking up again and it was 11 o'clock. So I had to make a rush because it closes at 1:30. So I got myself ready and I went on to the farmer's market. And guess what? Now I'm sleepy again. So I'm going to take me an hour-long nap. Just catch up on my rest. Take me an hour-long nap. And then I will get started with Sunday's dinner after that. Because all I got to do is brown the Italian sausage. Oh, and I'm making a double batch of it too. It's going to be a huge batch. I thought about just making like one, just my regular amount. And then I said, nope, I'm going to make a big amount because I can freeze some. Because there will be times during the winter that I'm just not going to feel like cooking. Or I might get a taste for soup or something like that. And so why not? I said I can go in and make a double batch of it, freeze 2 to 3 bags of it, eat on what I cooked now, and then just freeze the rest. And it'll be some meals for me during the winter. And then I don't have to make that soup again if I space it well enough. So today is the day for that. And then I'm going to be doing a lot of crock potting this winter. I think it's going to be easy. Leftovers really don't bother me. My mother hated leftovers, so I could never prepare ahead when we lived together because she did not eat leftovers and too much food would have went to waste. So my mother was the type, she wanted it home cooked, hot cooked. She was like, I've eaten too many leftovers in my life. That's why she didn't like it. So since I've been on my own, after her passing and everything, then I started with leftovers. I might make something and then freeze, like last year, the black-eyed peas. I cooked a whole crock pot full. In fact, I still have a bag in there that I need to be pulling out and getting eaten before this year's batch. I won't make as many this year, but I froze 2 bags last year. I filled them to the brim, and then I ate some. I had them for New Year's, and then I had some more during the winter, that 1 bag, and then I have a bag left. So anyway, in fact, I could, if I wanted to, eat those for New Year's, but, you know, it might be soon that I want to eat some black-eyed peas. So, especially if I cook some more greens or something like that. So, but I know that that will be eaten before I do my new black-eyed peas for the year. Okay, so, yep, so I've talked enough now, so I'm going to get off of here, and I'm going to take this quick nap, and actually this video won't go up until after my nap. So I will talk to you guys later, and may God bless you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful day and weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.